Mr. Bowie, would you please give us your full name and DOC number?
Frank A. Bowie, 493078.
Mr. Bowie, let me explain our process to you. This is a parole revocation hearing. First off, I'm going to read to you and go over with you your parole revocation questionnaire. And then I'm going to go through the allegations that you are alleged to have violated your parole. As I do that, I'll ask you to plead either not guilty with a statement, guilty, or guilty with a statement to each of the allegations. Then we'll have an interview and discuss these matters with you. Then you'll have an opportunity to say whatever it is you'd like to say before the board. Then we vote. Do you understand our process?
Yes, sir.
Do you have your questionnaire there before you?
Yes, sir, I have.
Mr. Bowie, is that your signature at the bottom of the page dated April the 17th of 2023?
Yes, sir.
And was that information all accurate and correct when you signed it on that date?
Yes, sir.
Is that information still accurate and correct today?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready to proceed with your hearing?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to read you the first rule violation, number 4. You committed the offense of domestic abuse battery on April the 4th of 2023 and consequently were arrested by the Baton Rouge City Police Department. On September the 25th of 23, the charges were dismissed. How do you plead to the allegations that you committed the offense of domestic abuse battery?
Not guilty.
Number 10, rule violation. You are $503 in arrears towards supervision fees. How do you plead to that allegation?
Not guilty.
Mr. Bowie, your case has been assigned to me, so I will be the one that will begin the questioning, okay?
Yes, sir.
You paroled out on December the 4th of 2021, is that right?
Yes, sir.
So tell me what you've been doing since then. Were you working?
Yes, sir, I was working.
Where were you working at?
I was working at the Maryburg Hospital with a construction company called Catherine Construction.
How long had you been working with them?
Like 3-4 weeks after I got out of jail.
Okay. And were you working with them when you got arrested on April the 4th?
Yes, sir.
So you were working with them the entire time?
Yes, sir.
And how much were you making?
I was getting paid $17 an hour.
And you were working how many hours a week roughly?
Probably like anywhere from 45 to 40 hours a week.
Now, you pled not guilty to being $503 in arrears towards your supervision fees, but that's what our records show. Are you saying you're not, you're fully paid up?
No, I'm not. I'm not fully paid up.
Okay, well, why aren't you?
I had a little trouble going on with my son and my grandsons, and that was the reason why I couldn't pay it up. But they had took money, my state taxes, for that, and I was planning on paying it all the way up once I could catch up with my bills and making sure my grandson and my son was okay.
All right, well, let's talk about what happened on in this. Why are you in jail right now?
Well, my girlfriend said I hit her.
All right. Now, who's your girlfriend?
Nicolina Smith.
And how long y'all been together?
Almost 20 years.
Y'all have lived together for how long?
Huh?
You obviously, how long were you in prison before you got out in 2021?
16, about 16 years and like almost 16 years.
So you considering the 16 years that you were in prison, you and she being together?
Yeah, because I knew her before I left.
Were y'all together before you went to prison?
Yes, sir.
So y'all have actually been living together again since 21.
Yes, sir.
So tell me what happened on that particular day.
Well,
And let me slow you down. I have a police report. I've seen the police report. We know
Yes, I
what
know.
happened. I want your version of what happened.
Nicolina got mad at me because I was cheating on her, and she she man, she just went crazy on me, and then she jumps out the truck on Lee and Highland, and I was man, we was going about 45 miles per hour down the street, and she jumps out the truck.
Okay, well, let
And
me
when she,
back up a little bit. Talk to me about how you and she got together that day. How did y'all get in the truck to begin with?
oh, when I pulled up to the house, she was pulling up off from work too, and I asked her did she wanted to go get some food, and she was like, yeah.
So
So
this
she
is in
get,
Baton Rouge.
yes, sir.
Okay, so tell me what happened next.
Then we
Let
left. We
me,
went
let
to
me, let me stop you. What time was this?
probably around about 10:30, 11, something like that.
During the morning or after or night?
Night. It was night.
Now, she indicates that you were in your truck and you were drinking. Were you drinking?
No, sir.
Had you been drinking that day?
No, sir.
All right, so
No,
what
sir.
happened next?
So we left. We went and got the food, and she
Where
get
did you go
mad
to get the
because
food?
yeah, we went to rallies on Florida Boulevard. We left from McKinley Street, West McKinley Street, and went to rallies on Florida Boulevard. And while we were going to rallies, she tell me that she tired of me cheating on her and stuff like that. And she man,
Y'all had
she
this argument for a long time before this date, though, hadn't you?
yes,
Okay.
yes. This argument was an ongoing argument
Were you
about
cheating on her?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I was. Then
You were
obviously
living
I was
with her?
wrong for that.
You were
Huh?
living with her?
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
she
was
had a right
wrong
to be
for cheating
mad.
on her, sir.
She had a right to be mad.
Yeah, she most definitely had a right to be mad.
Well,
She
how
most
is it
definitely
that y'all went from you inviting her to go get something to eat and y'all getting in a heating argument?
she just brought it up and she was just like, man, she tired of that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I can't do nothing about that if you tired of it. You know, the only one thing you could do, either leave me or be with me. Saying she get mad. Like once Nicolina mad, she mad. And that's just it. And she
So
gonna
how
go
did
to
y'all
these
end up in
streams.
Prairieville?
Actually, we never even made it to Prairieville. We never went to Prairieville. We end up on we come around off of Florida on airline, and we come down Essen Lane, going back from Essen Lane going through Kenilworth. And when we get through Kenilworth back to Highland Road, she just go berserk, saying, and she jumps out the truck. By the time we get to Lee Drive, she
Did you
jumps out the
have
truck.
any physical altercation at all? Did she hit you? You hit her?
She pushed me upside the head a few times, but I never hit her. When she jumps out the truck, the door hit her because we going like 45 miles per hour down Lee Drive, well, Highland,
Okay.
and she jumps out.
And then what
Uh,
happened?
I stop and turn back around. She takes off into the Circle K and tell me she calling the police because she tired of me and she don't want nothing else to do with me. And not knowing that she gonna call the police and tell the police that I hit her. Uh, but that's what she did.
So what did you do?
But I do. I left. I went home
You just left her there.
at the Circle K and went home. Now she wouldn't get back in the truck. No.
Tell me how many other times you and she have gotten in these arguments.
About me cheating, I couldn't even count. I couldn't count.
Any and all things.
Well,
Because she's called the cops
I
on
know, I know.
you.
She stopped. I got the report right here too. She stopped the police and told them that I took her phone, but I never took her phone. Her phone was inside the house the whole time. I left her phone at the house because she took my wallet and wouldn't give it back. So I'm like, man, if you don't give me my wallet back, I ain't gonna give your phone back. But I never took her phone. I just left the phone on the counter at the house and left.
So let me ask you this. How did her lip get busted that night?
Her lip get busted from that door hitting her.
Now, let me get this straight. You and she are arguing. You're cheating on her. According to your statement, she gets kind of crazy, jumps out of a car, 45 miles an hour, hits her head on the door, runs to a 7-Eleven, and says she's going to call the police, and you just leave her there?
Yes, sir. But I never
Tell
one
me
time
why.
hit her.
Tell me why. Tell me why you didn't stay there to make sure that she was all right. Make sure that when the cops got there, you would say, look, this is what happened, you know?
Well,
You familiar with the cops, aren't you?
yeah,
You're
but
on parole,
I-
aren't you?
yes, sir. But
Why didn't you stay and wait for the cops to come so you could
Because I'm like-
explain your side of the story?
I'm like, I ain't do nothing. So
Well, why didn't you stay and say that?
I don't know.
What kind of
And
man
I'm
leaves
telling
a
you,
woman
I
who's
don't
got a
know.
busted lip at a 7-Eleven?
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know why I didn't stay, and I can't explain. I don't know why I didn't stay. But the next day, she come to the house. She calls the police, and I'm like, I'm not going nowhere because I didn't do you nothing. I'm saying, and when the police come, you're like, man, did y'all get into it? I'm like, no, I did not put my hands on her. I didn't touch her. Period. But you know, I can't explain why she do that. Once she mad, and that's just what she do.
Do
She
you
go
understand why
she
she
mad.
might get mad at you?
Yeah, I understand why she was mad. I
And this
clearly
has been
understand.
going on for how long?
Almost 9 months
Why do you stay with her?
because I love her.
Doesn't sound like it to me.
But
How
I
many
do.
women are you cheating on her with?
One.
And how often you see that woman?
Since probably about 10 months.
How often do you see her?
Oh, how often do I see her? I used to see her probably like once or twice a week.
You know, Mr. Bowie, this is going to sound kind of crazy, but you're lucky to still be alive.
Yeah, I know. I know. Thank you
You
for saying
understand
that
why
because I
she
really
gets
know.
mad at you?
Sir?
You understand why she gets mad at you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I really do.
Not only are you cheating on her, you leave her at a 7-Eleven when she's been hurt. What do you think about that? You've been sitting in jail how long now?
Almost 7 months.
What do you think you might have done differently as you sit here today?
If I would have stayed there and just talked to her, probably wouldn't even be here. If I had stayed there.
And so why
But
do
if
you
I wouldn't have been cheating from the jump start,
Yeah,
that would probably would have saved me all this trouble.
well, let me ask you this. Why do you think you didn't stay? Were you angry?
I was absolutely tired of Nicolina, like just with the arguing. You know what I'm saying? Constantly arguing
You were
about
tired
something.
of hearing the truth.
Yes, sir.
Were you angry at her for continuously bringing up the fact that you're cheating on her?
Actually, I wasn't angry. I was just tired. I was just tired of it because it was an ongoing thing. It was an ongoing thing. When to get up in the morning, it's arguing.
Let me ask you this. If you were to get out and not go back to prison, where would you live?
Probably with my mom. until I find my
What
own
does the
place.
relationship look like with this woman in the future?
Who, Nicolina?
Yeah.
Well, I can't explain it. I don't know. I don't know.
So you'd want to get back with her if you could?
If I could, I would. But I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I'm serious. I don't know. I don't know.
You know, your parole officer suggests that you're a menace to society. Why do you think they would say something like that?
What?
You heard me. Why do you think they would put something like that in a report, that they think you're a danger?
I wouldn't dare know that, because for one thing, I was doing everything I was supposed to do with Miss Henry. Know what I'm saying? And Mr. Perez. I'd never been in nothing. So if I'm a menace to society and not doing anything but working every day, something wrong with that. And I'm not in the streets doing anything in the streets wrong. I left everything alone because I don't want to be up in here. That's why I left all that alone. I used to I admit I used to do anything the street had to do. I was doing it. But after doing all that time in jail, it was too much. I got to live for my kids and my grandkids. I'm saying I got to do something better. I was trying.
All right, Mr. Bowie.
I have a
questions? Yes, ma'am.
So I want to be clear. You said that y'all been together 20 years and 16 of those years you were in prison. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me about your relationship while you were in prison. Is she the one that kept money on your books and did all that?
Her and my mom and my sister.
But she did. She contributed to keeping money on your books.
Yes, ma'am.
And this other lady that you started seeing 10 months ago, was she there when you were in prison?
No, ma'am.
And she did that, your girl, the Nick, what you call her, Nick, what's her name?
Nicolina. But
Nicolina.
I call her Nikki.
Nikki did that for 16 years, and then you get out and start seeing somebody for 10 months.
Yes, ma'am.
She kept money on your books and was faithful to you while you were in prison.
Yes, ma'am.
Were y'all still living together
Well, when?
when all this happened?
Yes, ma'am.
When she pulled up, that when y'all pulled up at the same time, y'all both lived there where y'all pulled up at?
Yeah. 380 West McKinley Street.
Okay. I just wanted to be sure that y'all were still living together, although you were still seeing the other lady 2 times a week.
Yeah.
And then you had a financial burdens with your son and your grandson. Financial burdens there. Then you gonna get. Then you had Nikki, and then you had another one.
Yes, ma'am.
See how that complicates your finance?
Yes. Well, the other woman, I wasn't getting her no money. I was making sure Nicolina and my kids are straight.
Okay.
That's it. I'm not about to deprive Nicolina or nothing. Saying to this day, I will not deprive Nicolina of nothing, because Nicolina was there for me. And if Nicolina need anything from me, I'm gonna give it to her regardless to what. Because I understand where the loyalty was. I broke the loyalty. I'm the one that did that, not her.
Okay. And your statement that, because you did complete Steve Hall in 2020, so there's a separate history. So your statement is that you were not drinking when she pulled up.
No, ma'am, I was not.
Did you use anything since you've been out?
No, ma'am.
What was your drug of choice in the past? You went to Steve Hall.
Marijuana and ecstasy pills. That's it.
Okay. Were you ever drug screened while you were on supervision?
No, ma'am.
You were there.
I don't think so. It probably was when I first got out of jail, but other than that, no.
Okay. And why do you think Nikki went to the DA's office and dropped the charges? Why do you think she did that?
I guess because she loved me.
And when the last time you talked to her? Yesterday morning. Did you tell her about this hearing? Did you ask her to come? You tell
Yeah,
her
I
about,
told her about this hearing, but she had to work.
okay, so she was not
Yeah, I
gonna
told
show.
her about it. I told her about it, but she was like, she had to work. And so
But she went on to the DA's. Whose idea was that for her to go to the DA's office and drop the charges?
it was hers. She never pressed charges. She never pressed charges on me.
All right, that's all I had. Thank you for answering my
Yes,
question.
ma'am. Have a nice day.
Mr. Bowie, good morning.
Good morning.
So it's your contention that it was about 11 o'clock when she arrived for work.
Anywhere from 10:30 to 11 o'clock.
So what time did you, yeah, how long did it take you to get something to eat?
From my house to Rallies, probably like 25, not 25 minutes, about 15 minutes.
So what time did you get back home after she jumped out of the car?
Probably about anywhere from 12 to 1.
So the police got the call at 2 o'clock and was dispatched to 380 West McKinley Street. And this was, so at 2 o'clock in the morning, she jumped out the car.
No, that's before 2 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. And you never went to Perryville and went down a dark road and continuously hit her in the face and mouth.
No, sir. No, sir. I never did.
So why did she pick to tell the police that y'all went to Perryville?
I don't know, but I could tell you this: Nicolina is not from Baton Rouge. Nicolina is from LaPlace. So her knowing if we in Prairieville or not, she probably wouldn't know. She
Thank you,
probably
sir.
wouldn't know.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. You have a nice
Anything
day,
you'd like to say, Mr. Bowie, before we vote?
sir.
Anything you'd like to say before we vote?
Well, yeah, I want to show y'all that I did complete this program that they have here. This this faith-based program and stuff. I think y'all probably have a copy of this, and I just been trying to
Name of the
get
program.
myself together.
What's the name of the program you completed? Read the certificate.
It's the first faith-based program. This is East Baton Rouge faith-based program.
What was it about?
It's about it's a Christian program.
No, what was it about? What'd you get out of it?
So I get out of it, I get to learn more about God and knowing who I am in God. And it just helped me to get myself back on the right track, knowing that I was wrong for what I did by cheating and putting her in a position where she will get mad at me about these things. And I had to call and apologize to her about what I was doing because it was wrong for me to cheat on her when she was there for me when hardly nobody was there for me. The other woman wasn't there for me. So it showed me that I was making wrong decisions in my life. Even though I wasn't making decisions like streetwise, getting in the streets, selling drugs and things like that, I was still wrong for being with somebody and not leaving them if I didn't want to be with them. So I just try to get closer to God and understand where I was wrong at in my situation. That's how I get now.
All right, panel ready to vote? Mr. Bowie, you know, I've listened to you, and let me say one thing for sure. You know, you're not in jail because you cheated on this woman.
Yes,
But
sir.
that perhaps is the impetus that starts the fights that you get angry about. And you say, oh, I wasn't angry, I was just tired. I don't believe you. I believe that you were drinking that day. I believe that whether you went to Prairieville or not, whether she knows Louisiana, Baton Rouge or not, she talked about a dark road you took her down and you were beating on her. She ended up having to go to the hospital on her own. You left her at a 7-Eleven. You knew she was hurt. You say she jumped out of the car at 45 miles an hour and hit her head on the door. I don't know that I buy that. I think you need a lot of work. I think you really need more than what you've done in that faith-based program. That's a good start. My vote today is to revoke, but I'm only one vote. Mr. Roche?
Mr. Bowie, I find that some criminal activity occurred on the night of the incident. And based upon you agreeing to a supervision contract and you agreed to avoid all criminal activity, I revoke the supervision because you violated condition number 4 of your supervision contract.
Thank you, Mr. Roche.
All right, my vote is the same for the same reason. I wish you well, sir.
Good luck to you, Mr. Bowie.